Welcome back to the MVP podcast, the people show where we talk about the most valuable players in the world of sports. My name is B-Man. To my right, we've got Sosa Sauce with the sauce and the Chelsea shirt. And then we've got Weezy down below. Mandem Premier League review is what we're about to do. Can we big up Calvert-Lewin first and foremost?
Before we get into it, you always do this. Let me do my thing.
I
Let me do my thing.
I know.
Guys, if you like the video, please like the video. Subscribe if you're new. Share with your friends. We do appreciate all the love and support you've been giving us. So, we're talking football, yeah? We're talking football. I know you want to talk about Calvert-Lewin. I know you want to talk about Everton and their wicked season. First and foremost, yeah. Let's talk about the crummy side of the Premier League. And right about now, yeah, teams like who are expected to do well, City have been, I don't know what to call it. I don't know what do you call it? What do you call it?
I call it a disaster.
Why?
I call it a disaster that you can spend so much money and be left with what you have now.
It's gonna be okay, money wise I get that, but it's gonna be a weird season this season. So you're gonna get results that are gonna be like, you know what I mean? What the hell kind of results this year?
Yeah.
Plus, I don't know. I'm not too down on City like you, but tell us why you're down on them anyway.
Do you know what? This didn't happen this year, by the way. It wasn't over the last two games that I've had an issue with Man City. This is going back to the start of last season that I had an issue with them. They just don't. You know, like 3-4 years ago, where you felt like Man City was always going to come away with the points. They're not that team anymore. They've aged and they've not evolved with the league. They've not taken steps forward that you expected them to take. They haven't bought the players that I thought they'd be able to attract. They just haven't done much. And they're dependent on pure world-class players like KDB and Aguero. But without them, I can't see them do anything.
So you're coming around to my idea that Pep Guardiola is a fraud?
He is a fraud. I have actually come down to that now.
I don't know where frauds come into it, because I think a lot of and this can be said for a lot of teams, because a lot of teams have been struggling. There's teams that, like, I don't want to talk about Man United too much here, because you guys did a whole video about it, but like even you guys, there's just something not quite right. The same with Man City. Maybe it's just a case of they're just not fit. They've not got the players back yet. Give them time. Like, they've got quality in the squad. They just need some time.
Where's the quality? Genuinely, that's a genuine question.
They've got guys like KDB in their team. I think that's quality enough, as far as I'm concerned.
That's not quality enough for a whole team.
For a whole team,
cannot be quality enough. Impossible.
Again, it's not just him. Obviously, they've got guys like Edison in net, who's still a quality keeper.
Whoa! You said Edison in net. Did you see what he did last night?
I know what he did last night, but even still,
he's been horrendous. Yo, I used to argue that he was one of the top goalkeepers, but the last few 10, 11, he's been as bad as De Gea. He's not been getting the stick, but he's been as bad as De Gea.
It's because the team itself is not set up. When the team's not set up, they'll leak goals. Like,
what league goals? Like, what? Go out for a ball and hit on the back of your defender and then let the guy tap it in. That kind of goal.
Again, they're not.
That's got nothing to do with defending. That's just poor goalkeeping.
He's not got enough games under his belt for him to, like, right now. Like, so far, these guys have just come off a pre-season, literally like yesterday, and they're playing into games. They play midweek games, so they've just not had a time to just smooth everything out yet. There's going to be a lot of bumps in the road until
I've got to take it
at least until December. They're not going to be right until December.
Okay, but then they're not competing with anybody else. Like, forget Man United, forget Chelsea, forget Arsenal, Everton, all them teams. The team that they're competing with, any chance you give them, you saw it last war. As soon as they smell blood in the water, they're going for you. So, like, if they win today, what are they? Like, 6 points already ahead of them. I know City have got a game in hand. Do you know what I mean? You don't want Liverpool getting, come December time, like you said, you don't want Liverpool 9, 12 points ahead of you. And it's Pep Guardiola's last year. So,
well, look, the manager Pep, we know he's been about, yeah, but the Leeds manager, that guy is something different. Yeah, I heard this guy. He had like spies and stuff examining training grounds and stuff like that, man. Like,
you not remember?
as
Yeah,
far
he thought it was normal there. He thought,
Yeah.
yo, like when they pulled him up on it, he goes, "What? You don't do that here." Like he just basically said, "What? Is this not normal? Is this not a normal thing?" Like the funny story is, do you know when they got promoted, they played Derby in a friendly, and then he got
yeah, I
caught
remember.
spying on Derby trying to use new equipment who they're not in the same league as them. Like the guy, he's a legend, man. I'll give it to Bielsa. He went to Anfield toe to toe. Went to Man City yesterday. He should have got 3 points. I believe both games he should have got 3 points. It was unlucky, but that start, it was refreshing, man. I'll give him that much. But it's
People,
a quality manager, quality team. Shows you in it by like what a good manager can do with not so many quality players in the squad.
yeah, no, but that's what I said. That
Okay.
we've known about Bielsa anyway. People were more surprised at the fact that he decided to go for Leeds when they were that far down anyway. He is a quality manager. But this is what I mean when I say big teams need big managers. Those are the type of managers that you need, that you know can get you to win games. Certain managers can get you to win games, and certain teams have got players that might win you games.
Yeah,
I
true.
want the manager that can win me games, especially at a big club, that can then use that and look at him and think, oh, do you know what? We know this guy will take us far. Let's put some money into him. That's the type of manager that you need. Bielsa is just levels above.
I think you're right about that. But what's the main thing is that the team buys into it. Like, if the players don't buy into it, then they're not going to listen to him. Like, you can imagine guys at City, the amount of turnover they've had now, that some of the guys, even though it's Pep Guardiola and he deserves all the respect he can get as far as a player standpoint, he still needs to prove it, and they still need to actually do something with that. When the team's not winning games, who's the person they're going to turn on? You can't turn on the individual player. You're going to turn on the manager. So I think
Pep Guardiola's got that respect where you don't really like that. I can't see Man City fans anyway. There's not that many of them anyway, but can't really turn on Pep Guardiola.
There'll come a time. I've seen it happen enough times
I think,
at Chelsea. I've seen it enough times.
Personally, I don't think we're going to reach.
People can turn on Wenger. You can turn on anyone, bro.
But that was over time, though, innit? It took Wenger, like 9, 10, 11 years of stagnant, no development, no progress kind of thing for Arsenal fans to turn on him. So, I don't know. I mean, I can't see them turning on Pep Guardiola, but like I said, I'm not expecting teams to hit dizzy heights like Liverpool, man. Like Liverpool did last year, where they lost really and truly, Liverpool lost one meaningful game last year at Watford. All the others, they lost them after the title. So, I think Liverpool will lose games. I think City will lose games. I think it will be a title race between them two. But I think City will come good. Yesterday, when I watched the game, I thought to myself, Sterling as a striker is not working. When you put Mahrez up there, Guardiola needs to go in the market and get a striker. Because Aguero, you can't rely on Aguero anymore. And Jesus is proven to be quite injury prone as well. In the season, he'll miss at least 2-3 months through injury. So, yeah.
No, you're right. I was watching the game and I thought, like, the amount of chances that Sterling had, he misses a lot more than
a striker would bury it.
Do you reckon? You actually admit the amount of chances? Yeah, like, if a striker did that normally, you'd be saying to yourself, "What the hell's wrong with this guy? This guy should be burying the goals." But for a guy like Raheem, because he's more of a wide man and he gets on a play so often, to miss a few in a Man City team, again, this is where the team comes into play. With a Man City team that creates so many opportunities, you're bound to get goals. But what Leeds did, they had more possession than Man City. How many times have you seen that in the Premier League?
When I seen that stat, I thought that was mad.
No, but you know what? At the same time, I appreciate what we're seeing from Leeds right now. But we saw the same thing from Sheffield United last season. We saw the exact same thing. A team that came in with zero respect, with a manager that didn't care for anyone, and they were ready to punch anyone in the mouth. And now look at Sheffield United now. I'm not saying,
but it's different. It's different styles, man.
Yeah, I know. I'm not saying that Leeds are going to have this exact same trajectory as Sheffield United, but you always have this one team that comes up that plays pretty football, that looks good, and that throughout the season kind of threaten to make European football until they sort of fall off towards the end. At the end of the day, I'm not scared of Bamford, bro. I'm not scared of Rodrigo. I'm not. Give it till March time. Then come to me. Then talk to me about how good this team could possibly be. But for now, it's just like they're just excited to be in the Premier League.
No,
No,
yeah, you're right. You're right.
I'll give you that. I think you got a point there, but I've never seen a team go to Anfield and dominate the way they did. And give Liverpool that. We haven't seen a team do that for the last 2-3 years. And then I played the City yesterday. Sheffield United were more counter-attacking and like sucked you in and then hit you on these actually just literally say to you, I'm taking this game over. So
But there's
refreshing.
no home game.
Yeah, there's no home fans. Yeah. I get that.
At Anfield, that doesn't really mean much.
We talked about a lot of managers being in precarious positions, especially with Pep Guardiola. One manager, I had to talk about my team, Frank Lampard. We saw on the pitch, like, we had a brilliant game, less about the result, more about what actually happened, because we saw a moment there where, Jorginho got a penalty. Tammy Abraham, Kai Havertz won the penalty. Tammy Abraham got the ball, wanted to take it. As far as a player, like a striker, wanting to take the penalty but having a registered penalty taker, what do you make of how it was dealt with, B-Man?
Do you know, it's a difficult one for me. So it's like, on one hand, I get it, right? You've got someone their job is to take those penalties when the time is there. But then at the same time, I'm like, okay, I get that a striker needs goals. So I get where Tammy Abraham is coming from. But I think at the end of the day, if it's been established that Jorginho will always take the penalties, then there shouldn't be a situation where the striker is saying, let me take it. It should be foregone. That should be clear instructions from the manager saying, no, regardless of the circumstances, we could have 10 penalties. Jorginho's taken all 10 of them. And it's as simple as that.
Now, for me, it's exactly the same as Balak. If you've got an established and a designated penalty taker, then let that guy take a penalty. I get where Tammy Abraham's coming from, but the biggest one for me was, if anything, I thought Werner should have been like, if you want anybody to get off the mark on anything, you should have just given it to Timo and said, hey, first go in the Premier League, try and get it with this penalty. So that kind of, like, that was like my biggest thing. But other than that, I think how Aspilicueta dealt with it, like, say, this is the penalty taker, he takes all our penalties. Where you going? I'm the captain, and then move back. That was like perfect. So it's not really. I don't know. I mean, for me, it's not really a big deal. But if anything, I think Jorginho should have just given it to Timo Werner to get his first Premier League goal of the season.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not mad. The fact that we were already 3-0 up, like, I wouldn't have minded if it was going to go to Tammy. Like, if Tammy goes, I want to take it. Like, it's just me. I would be like, you know what? Yeah, take it. We're 3-0 up. It's not like it's going to go anywhere. But I get why it happened. I get why, Aspilicueta's like, yo, this is what it needs to be done. And the rest of the players knew it. They consoled him. Rather than celebrate with Jorginho, they went and Tammy Abraham's like, yo, listen, tough call, mate. Next time, maybe you get a chance. But I can understand why they're upset. As far as the team itself, I'm just happy we had a clean sheet. Oh, my days. It felt like forever. It genuinely felt like
They didn't have
forever.
a shot on target, Palace, though, did they?
Mendy had barely anything to do. I think he had like 2 saves, caught a couple of corners. That's about it.
Because I thought I saw the Palace that turned up at Old Trafford to this Palace, and I'm like, it's 2 contrasting teams. It's just like, I thought, if anything, I thought Chelsea would be, if you put it on Chelsea would look vulnerable. So I'm kind of shocked at Palace and the way they played. It was kind of shocking.
I think as far as the game went, you're right. Because Man United, Chelsea, 2 big clubs, you're expecting them to be on the offensive and a team like Crystal Palace to be sitting back, absorbing it, and then hit them on the counter. Only difference is that they weren't able to counter as well or more as efficiently as they normally did. As far as Chelsea goes, I think this was a great result. I don't care if it was against a small team.
It wasn't about the performance. It was the result. You needed that after the West Brom game.
You do have to admit, though, even though Chelsea ended up winning 4-0, they still didn't look that convincing. Their play is still very, very broken. And I think it was Ian Wright on Match of the Day that said it was so spot on with the analysis. He's like, time and time again, we're seeing one-on-one play that shouldn't be there, when in fact the team should be moving the ball, stretching the play, but you just constantly see one-on-one, either wingers against fullbacks or midfielders trying to take on other midfielders. And I don't think that's conductive to winning at all. It has to be team. Team.
I see where you're coming from, and you know what? Yeah, it was. I don't want to pick a guy out for saying it, but Callum Hudson-Odoi, he's like the next Willian. He gets the ball and he just sits on it.
Yeah.
He just sits on it and he lays an egg and then he just passes the ball. But less about Chelsea. Yeah, I want to talk about the team. As far as I'm aware, there's like 3 unbeaten teams in the Premier League, and Everton are probably the best team. Is it 2? Who's the other one?
Well, Leicester lost today, so I think
Yeah,
Leicester loser. They lost today, Leicester 3-0.
correct.
So it's only Everton and I can't remember the other one now.
Aston Villa, I think it was.
No, and Liverpool. Liverpool are unbeaten as well,
And
aren't
Liverpool. Yeah, there are.
they? Yeah. So one's going today, though.
I
One's
know what
going
I'm
today,
talking
innit?
about. I know what I'm
Leicester were
talking about.
unbeaten as well, but one's going today as well, innit? Everton and
Yeah,
Aston Villa, Liverpool play each other.
Then there's one's gonna go. But Everton, I don't know. Well, we kind of knew this was gonna happen because they signed the likes of James Rodriguez. They brought in a manager of the quality. Again, a big name manager in Carlo Ancelotti, former Chelsea manager King Carlo used to call him. Weezy, what do you reckon as far as Ancelotti and his tactics have been so far?
I like Everton going forward. I like their midfield. For me though, I don't really believe Everton. So I don't believe the stories that they're telling at the moment. Reason being is, when they go to, they play Liverpool after about a week after the international break. So the second game back after, that's when I really look at them. If they give a good account of themselves and finally get over that hoodoo and beat Liverpool, then I'll say to you, do you know what, Everton are here to stay. But Jordan Pickford in net, Keane and Yaramina centre backs, they're easy. Any team with a good attack or that can get at them will still cause Everton problems. And I know people rave about James Rodriguez and that, but defensively, he's not great going back. So we'll see when they come up against the big teams. But right about now, it's going well for them. But I don't really believe I don't really believe the hype around them at the moment.
I mean, they've made some amazing signings. Not just James, but they brought in guys like Decore. They've got in Allen. They've got guys in they've got guys on the bench as well that can come off. They've got guys like Bernard and guys like that.
I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of their centre their centre midfielders in, but that centre midfield can keep ball for fun. Like Allen, Decore, and Andre Gomez. Them 3 can keep the ball for fun. Richarlison and Calvin Lewin, they're on fire. Them too. But at the moment, like I said to you, I don't trust their back line. And I have not yet seen them being tested and another team go at them. So until I see that, I don't really want to say to you, they've arrived or Everton are here for the top 4 stakes, this and that. So, yeah.
Man, you tell me, what do you reckon as far as their performances so early on into the season?
I think they just need to keep momentum going. I'm in Weezy's camp where I'm like, I don't buy the first 4 games. I don't buy that. But what I do buy is that they could roll over a lot of teams. So I wouldn't be surprised if they somehow manage to keep this run going. And I get what Weezy's saying about, well, no one has really tested them. But the reality of the matter is, right now, in the Premier League, they're free scoring. And that is a big deal. To be able to score so freely is a massive, massive deal. So I like what they're doing. I think they look good. I hope when they do play Liverpool that they come out correct. The worst thing that I see in teams is that they move away from what seems to be working.
It's working for them, and then they go negative,
The other team, the other team will forget about the other team. If what you're doing is working, stick to your guns. Sometimes you lose, sometimes you win. Right now, you're winning. So whatever's working, just keep it going.
I want to ask you, because I was watching the game the other day, and I don't want to be the guy to say it, but because we've had some issues as far as keepers go, but their keeper, it's so scary to watch. I mean, what do you make of his performance?
How's he England #1 though? I mean, he's still been picked for England for this international. Like, I don't get it.
Gareth Southgate sees something in him.
No, but like, all right. So you see De Gea going on rotten run, and then you see him all plastered all over the paper. Sky News comparing him to Henderson. This guy's been rotten for about a good 18 months, and he's still England's #1. No one slates Southgate for this, like what Southgate's doing. He should not be anywhere near the England team. If Everton have any top 4 ambitions, that guy's going to cost them top 4. I'll tell you straight. The longer they keep him in there, it's going to cost them a game.
Bima, I want to hear you. I want to hear your take on this, at least. You've read this guy enough. I want to hear your take on this.
I think he's in a race right now. I think he's like in a race, and it's kind of like that constantly between him and Kepa on who's the worst goalkeeper in the league, man. This is like...
Well, Kepa's on the bench, so he's taking the lead now. He's taking the lead now. He's passed the torch.
I think it's ridiculous.
Honestly, though, he's trash.
1 second. I think it's ridiculous that you can have a Premier League goalkeeper that can consistently make so many mistakes and not get held accountable for it. That's my biggest problem with Pickford. Kepa is getting the brunt end of the stick, right? He's getting reprimanded. You're playing trash. We've signed a goalkeeper. You're on the bench. Until you fix it, you're not coming back into the team. Bin this guy. Bin him. You can't have a goalkeeper that flaps at the ball. You need that confidence to catch balls. You need confidence to be able to make saves and command the box, bro. I would bench him so quick because defenders, midfielders, and attackers can make mistakes and they can get away with it. Goalkeepers cannot get away with mistakes. They cannot. It always leads to goals. So he should.
I think as far as positions go, they need to strengthen it. At least get someone that can instill confidence in the back line. But guys, I think we've gone over. I want to wrap this up now because we've been going on for like almost 20 minutes. Guys, if you like the video, subscribe if you're new, share with your friends. We do appreciate it. I've been Sosa, Weezy's been here, B-Man's been here in his kitchen. Lead us out, man. Lead us out.
All right, guys, thank you so much for watching, and we'll be back again soon. That's peace from us.